Hi and welcome to the PAWS Principle. I'm going to give a bit of an overview of how the principle works, where I came about coming across the principle, so that when you're doing these exercises it'll make a little bit more sense. I always like to think of the end goal in mind. So if you're going to be planting a seed and you want it to grow into a great tree, you've got to have a number of things sorted first. And at the end of the day, you want to be able to pick that fruit, and you want it to have a strong presence when the wind is blowing. So you want it to be able to stick around, but you want to be able to pick the fruit when you want to be able to pick it and sustain the challenges that come its way, because you're not always going to have good weather, you're not always going to have bad weather, but you need to have a good system in place to support that. So I came up with the idea of the PAWS principle, comparing it to the process to the growth of a tree. And you have a measurement system. The measurement system really is the trunk that absorbs all the nutrients. So the tree is the system. The rain, the sun, the nutrients are the measurement of that. So as long as you've got a good quality sunshine and there's a good quality of water, and if it's not natural, then you'll be able to provide a watering process for that. I chose a tree and because there's a number of things that are happening above the line, and we'll get to that in just a moment. And there's also things that are happening below the line, and we can compare that to what's happening within the practice and when you're dealing with clients. So clients, colleagues can see and hear, so that's above the line. So below the line is what you don't, they might not see or hear, or it's things that they might overhear that are good or bad. The other day we had some great feedback from a practice where the front desk person was on the phone, and while she was on the phone, she was on the phone for a period of time, and the client was committing to come in. But when she hung up, the person in that reception had said, "Oh wow, you handled that amazingly well." So that has a big impact in what's going on, and that's some of the things that happen above and below the line. And the things that you can see are critical, but some of the things that you can't see, preparing for someone before they come in and having things ready for them so that when they come in they feel like they're being appreciated for coming in. So I break it down into 4 components, and there's 2 ways we can look at this. And yes, I start in the bottom right hand corner, which is quite frustrating, but it's done figuratively because recognition is critical. If you don't recognize that the soil is valuable to the tree's health and longevity, then you're going to be in trouble. It's not what's happening above the line, it's what's happening below the line. So recognition of the client is critical, recognition of the pet is critical, and that is to be done as fast and as effectively as you can when they first enter the premises. Or even on the phone. Communication is the next critical factor. You need to make sure that you're communicating effectively with the client, making sure you understand what's going on and asking the relevant questions. If you're able to communicate effectively with them, you'll be able to educate them on what it is you think is going to be the best outcome for them and their pet. This then leads to the results that you're after, and if you're looking to have continuous good clients coming back again and again, or even if they're coming in on an emergency basis, you want to make sure that the results are there for you, for the pet, and for the client and the business. So it needs to be measured. You need to make sure that there's the right amount of nutrients getting into the soil, the right amount of water, and the right amount of sun hitting that particular thing. And that's what we do, is we measure the process that we're doing in order to deliver this to the client. The trunk acts as the system to deliver that. So we're measuring it, and then we have a system that can deliver that. So if you are delivering a continuous system that is measured, and you're going it through around and around, it'll make a big difference. So here I've broken it down to the PAWS principle, where you've got the people and the pet, which is the recognition. You've got the awareness, which is the communication. You've got the willingness, which is the education, and then the solution. And that repeats the process again and again. If you can use that in all aspects of clients coming in, and also when people are on the phone, it'll have a big impact on how they feel. And a lot of the processes that I'll be going through will be using these 4 steps to assist.